Hi guys, welcome back. So my husband will tell you because a lot of people want to know what are your symptoms? How did you know that you have a heart problem or something? So tell them what is the problem and what are the symptoms.
Okay. First, I am under the weather, so I probably look really
Yeah.
sick. I ended up getting a cold, like right after surgery, so I've got a little head cold going on. Of course, after surgery, your body can be a little weaker. But my initial symptoms were kind of strange. They weren't like symptoms maybe like you'd have every day. So one, I couldn't sleep on my back at all, like flat on my back. I would wake up in pain, like in my chest. It kind of would remind me of when you read the symptoms of pericarditis. That's kind of what it would be. And then I'd lean forward in bed, and then my symptoms would kind of go away in about 1 to 2 minutes when I would lean forward. So, I mean, Jess can tell you, I always have the bed
Right.
raised up.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep flat at all.
Did you feel like the shortness of breath when you
It, sometimes. So it, like I said, it wouldn't happen all the time. So, I guess like if I was at work, sometimes I would feel the shortness of breath, like where I'm like, am I having like, I'm not one to have like anxiety attacks. I don't really have anxiety attacks. But
Yeah.
I would feel kind of like that, like, or I would breathe in sharply and I would have like a searing pain, like
yeah.
in your heart. So I actually went to medical about 2 years ago and told them, and this is on base,
Right.
and I told them like, hey, my chest is hurting.
Yeah.
My riblets sometimes crack, which is like costochondritis. And I was like, but I have trouble sleeping flat too, and they kind of just like
Ignore it. or
they
something?
basically ignored. So
Yeah.
of course I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And I noticed too when I was running long runs on longer runs, it'd be hard, like where I'm pretty fit and I'm pretty athletic. I'm thinking like, why
Yeah.
is a 2 mile run so hard for me?
Yeah, because a lot of people says you're active, you're very healthy,
Yeah.
and most of you
Probably.
guys know that he's very active. He always go to the gym, you know.
But I was tired.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
yeah.
every time I would go and work out, I would get
And
tired.
he eats healthy.
Fairly
So
healthy.
yeah, tell them what's the problem. Yeah.
So like I would notice a lot of times like throughout the day where I would be fine and then like all of a sudden I would get tired. And
Right.
I mainly kept it to myself. I don't think I really mentioned it to you a lot. I just thought it was normal.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe I'm just tired. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
even though I got 8 hours of sleep, I'm feeling like lethargic, like
Yeah.
very tired. I'd get tired at work, or I'd get up to go to the gym, and even though I'm getting a workout in, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just tired. I'm like, dang, like, why is this so difficult to do?
Right.
So there's a couple things. When I used to go on longer runs, I would get that iron taste in my mouth, like
Yeah.
where I was like, maybe my lungs were getting blood in it.
Oh.
If you push yourself, sometimes you can get that iron taste. For the athletes that are watching, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like if you're running, you'll get that like metal taste in your mouth. You're
Yeah.
like, what the heck? And a lot of times that's like bubbles in your lungs and they're bursting.
Yeah.
And but as far as like this, I guess most of it was me not being able to sleep on my back, being like lethargic, and of course I never thought anything different. I thought this is just
Normal.
maybe this is just normal for me. Maybe I'm just tired.
Right.
So,
Yeah, because you're active. You know,
Yeah. So I went and
working out.
at my new command, they're a little more specialized.
Yeah.
They're more well equipped, and I went with my symptoms, and my IDC was like, he's like, huh? He goes, that's not normal. He's like, we need to run a series of tests to try to pinpoint what is wrong, at least so we can eliminate
Right.
some things that it could be. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's something little, maybe it's something bigger. Well, it turns out it was something a lot worse than than we thought it was.
Yeah, but they thought it was small.
They well initially, because I went through this. I think the
Scan.
work up to this surgery has been what, 6 months?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
6 or 7
It took
months.
6 months, yeah,
To-
before the surgery.
Yeah, working up to the surgery, getting the tests, getting
Yes.
the echoes, getting the ultrasounds.
Yeah.
Had to do the bubble tests for the ultrasound.
Right.
And I did a TEE, which is a trachecardio, something like that. It's a TEE. Basically, it's taking a snapshot of the heart from in my throat out to the heart. And they measured it initially, and they're like, well, it looks like it's about 2.1 centimeters, which it's pretty big. 2.1 centimeters is...
How many inches is that? Like,
Oh, shoot, I don't even... So 2.1 centimeters would indicate like a small hole about 0.83 inches. So about 1 inch, maybe
Okay.
1 inch, which is still large, 1 inch
still
hole.
large, yep.
And then when they went in to actually do the surgery is when they found that the hole in there was actually 48 millimeters.
Like
which
2
is
inches.
Basically 2 whole inches. So
That's pretty big. That's
Like,
huge.
if you were to look at a diagram of the heart in the left and right chamber, it's essentially I had a 2-inch hole in that wall
Yeah.
when it's supposed to be sealed, which means that blood should flow omnidirectional. It should be one direction, and being that the hole was so big, it could splash back and forth, and then it means that the pressures in the heart are off. So that was what they seen initially on my echo. They said on my ultrasound, they said your right side of your heart is
Yeah.
enlarged. My ventricles were enlarged, and that was an indicator of my heart overworking itself. Essentially, it was working harder to pump blood. So then we went to the bubble test, and then the bubble test showed there was a hole. The bubbles obviously escaped from one chamber to the other.
Right.
So
And can you tell what kind of procedure? Because they thought that it's like open surgery, open heart surgery.
yeah. So typically with an ASD closure, it's an atrial septal defect. When you're basically once the placenta, you basically are born, right, and the
Yeah.
placenta no longer is providing the baby oxygen. That wall is supposed to grow, right, and it's supposed to seal the chambers. For whatever reason, mine didn't, and it was only exacerbated by, me being in the military, my stress. A lot of factors could have contributed to opening more and more and more.
Right.
More stress. Like going to the gym, always pushing myself. Me having to push myself harder because I was more tired. So you got to think, when I was going to the gym, I may have been working out harder than many people in there because I felt like I was tired. So I'd have to level it up, right? I'd have to work out harder. I'd have to push harder. So who knows, over the course of time, just by the stress and stuff like that. So it all culminated to the point where I went to the doctor and talked to him and was like, hey, something's not right here. We need to figure out what's going on. And luckily, the IDC knew what tests to order, what stuff to do, and so we got down to it. So when it comes to ASD closures, it's a device essentially that goes in there and it kind of clamps shut on the wall. So if this is a hole, it kind of blows up like this, and then they pull it through, and then this side blows up and it clamps the hole shut. It doesn't require open heart surgery for an ASD closure, depending on
How big
large
yeah.
it is. So normally the status quo, I guess, would be if it's 38 millimeters or larger, they typically refer you to open heart, and that could be
Yeah.
different for any doctors. That's just the general consensus online.
Yeah.
But because he was already I was already there, right on the table. They used the largest device they had, which is 48 millimeters, to close the 1.9 inch hole or whatever.
That's crazy big.
So
It's big.
yeah, so if it was any larger, they would have had to basically pull out and refer me to open heart.
Right.
So luckily, God willing,
Amen.
that device was there. It was the last one they had.
It's a miracle. Yep.
Like I said, they don't go any larger than that.
Yeah.
Because what they would do in open heart, they'd have to crack your chest, go in, stitch in a new wall, basically,
Right.
basically sew it in, versus a device to close it. So
Yeah. Good thing the doctor here are, they are really specialized.
yeah, it's
They're really good.
yeah. The doctor was really good. For the doctors, the cardiologists that do this,
Yeah.
this is what they do. This is what
Yeah.
their specialty is.
Yeah.
So I think they did the surgery in 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. It just took longer because of the check. Like they need to check you time to time.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to do the X-rays, a scan or whatever, because they want to make sure that it's all good before they discharge you.
Yeah. So, anyways, they did that. They
Mm-hmm.
went through my right leg. They didn't have to go through my left
Yeah.
with a camera, which is nice because the catheter they put in my leg is as big as my thumb. This
Yeah.
is how big that hole was in my leg.
Yeah.
Like they went into my vein and they went through the vein straight up to the heart, and they were able to
Yeah.
close it basically venously.
And it's looking good now. It's healing.
Yeah, it's healing good. I just so happened to get a cold.
Right, the cut in your leg.
I just so happened to get a cold like when I got home. I think Ellie might have been sick, and then she got me sick, or vice versa. One of us got each other sick.
But Ellie's doing good now.
Yeah, she's not really.
She's not really
She had
sick.
a little bit of a runny
Yeah.
nose, but I'm more sick than she is. Because going under anesthesia and all that stuff, like it just makes your body a little vulnerable.
And I think my breast milk helps a lot. Yeah, to fight.
So I mean, to kind of like recap on everything. Typically, the ASD closures, if they're small enough, can be done by the devices. Obviously, you got to talk to your specialist, and if they're any larger than what your doctor's comfortable with, they'll probably refer open heart. Luckily, God willing as well, is praise the Lord that we have TRICARE. So all of my medical is covered with my job. Otherwise, this
Could be
This
expensive.
could have been a very pricey,
Yes.
very expensive. And from what I understand, for at least 1 year, I have to be on blood thinners or something like that. Like probably for 1 year, because until the skin, essentially the
Blends in.
the structure of the heart can go over the device.
Oh, yeah.
The blood thinners keep it from the device getting clots on it. Because if there was a clot in my heart, and then it falls off, it could kill me. It could give me a stroke or a heart attack. Had I not found this, I probably would have went into heart failure, most likely.
Yeah, that's why the doctor told us that you need to do a surgery right away.
Yeah, but they didn't they didn't know how big it was.
They didn't know,
Right.
until
So
they did the procedure.
When the doctor came in, he told me there's small, medium, large, and very large, and he's like, yours was very large.
Holy
so-
cow! So yours is very.
I mean, it's almost.
Yes.
So it was. I think by their math, it's like 1.89 inches.
Wow.
So it's pretty big. So almost
It's
2
crazy.
inches.
Yeah.
Where remember there
I
there should be
know,
a wall
yeah.
there, and there's blood flowing back and forth. Like
Wow.
that's why I was having trouble sleeping, because it would like seep into the other chamber. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a cardiologist, right? But if you look at it, one side of the heart like pushes like oxygenated blood, and one side
Yeah.
doesn't. So if it's seeping into the other side, it can cause a lot of problems,
Right.
even for your body. Yeah. So had I not found it, it's very, very likely that I could have had a heart attack or went into heart failure within the next. Well, you don't really know. Soon.
You
It
don't
would have been
know.
soon, because my heart was already enlarged.
Right.
And being, it's different if it was just a small hole, right? It'd be different.
Yeah.
But being that it was large, I could have been on a run and
Yeah.
just fell flat dead on my face and
Right.
went into heart failure like immediately.
Your wrist.
Yeah. So
It's getting better though.
it's still pretty nasty. This was a atrial line.
Yeah.
Basically, when they went in and they were working on the heart, they put an arterial line in to monitor live blood pressure. So instead of the cuff, where it
Yeah.
kind of like it, that like monitors blood pressure every 2 minutes, this is live. So
Yeah.
when they put it in here, it was like real time, so they could monitor all my stats
Yeah.
right off the bat. So, but yeah, so that's pretty crazy. So I'm glad that my doctors, the initial person that I went in to talk to, took the case seriously, because
Yes.
had he not, I could eventually have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. Like, how long can you live with a 2-inch hole in your heart?
Right.
You know, most people find out around in their between 30 and 40 when they have a stroke or heart failure.
Yeah.
So stroke, heart failure, heart attack, and I'm 35, 36 next year, so I'm coming up to that. I mean, it's luck. If I was not as healthy as I am, I probably would have.
Heart attack.
I probably
yeah.
would have had a serious issue before. And I will tell you another symptom that I just remembered that I didn't quite understand. If some days, like when I was in Bahrain, and some days even at work, my eyes would go blurry.
Oh, really?
Like, I would be like looking at my computer screen and I couldn't see. Like,
Right.
my whole eyes, I could see light and color. I couldn't see anything in front of me. So what I'm thinking that is maybe a spike in blood pressure, like a random spike.
Right.
So I would get those random spikes in blood pressure where your heart rate like increases. My eyes would go blurry. It wasn't often, but what would trigger that is if I had like high caffeine.
Oh.
If I had like a Monster energy drink and I didn't eat anything, my eyes would go blurry, or a Bang, my eyes
That's
would
why I
go
told
blurry.
you. I keep telling you.
Yeah, but normally like, and I didn't know I had a heart problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
You
Right.
don't-
We
you
did.
don't
We
just-
didn't know that time yet.
You don't think that you have a
Yeah.
heart problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyways,
But he can still travel. After
couple months.
couple months. Yeah.
So I think the first 14 days are the most important for recovery,
Yes.
mainly for the injection site where they, put the catheter in.
Yeah.
The device is gonna just grow. It's gonna have the heart's gonna grow over the device eventually. I'll have a follow up in about a month, so
Yeah.
they can do an echo to make sure there's no leaking around
Yeah.
the device, and stuff like that. That'll be it's an ultrasound of the heart. And then I'll talk to doc, and basically for the next 6 months I have to maintain like I have to be on the medication, and then about for a year he said I have to be on medication depending on how I'm doing.
Yeah.
He said maybe after a year I can get off the blood thinners, because I don't really like taking meds. I don't
Yeah.
want to take meds. I'd rather do it the natural way if I can. But yeah, long story short, had my guys at my work not have done the right thing, I probably could have left my family earlier than I should have.
I know,
So,
right? It's
yeah.
scary.
But other than that, I don't
Scares
know
me.
if we have. Do you have any more questions that they have?
So there was one question on Facebook. Did you feel any difference? I don't think
Oh, so like before
like right
and after
away.
the
I'm
surgery?
not sure. Yeah.
I don't think yet. I don't think I felt a difference yet because my heart is still large.
Right.
So I think
It takes time.
it's gonna take a few months for the right side of my heart to normalize.
Right.
It's gonna take a couple months for. So basically, like my right side is like this, right? It's big, so it's gonna eventually sink down, and I think like working out and running and doing like my physical activity should be night and day difference. It should be, easier for me. I should be able to breathe better, run farther,
Right.
because for most of I've been living with this for most of my life, so
Yeah.
Um,
After 35 years, we just
yeah,
found out.
and it growing over those
Yeah.
35 years, growing to get as large
Stress.
as it
The
was.
stress didn't really help. You were very stressed when
Oh,
you were
yeah.
in Bahrain.
Well, Bahrain wasn't. Shoot, I think
bad?
I think here was more stressful when I came.
No, I don't think so.
Not at my.
Oh,
current-
right. The first,
Yeah.
your
Running
previous one.
Yeah, that was way
Yes,
more
yes.
stressful than Bahrain.
That's why we can't have a baby.
Shoot, we tried.
We
It
tried.
wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But,
So yeah, I think that's all, and he still need to recover. you
yeah,
know.
I'm just getting rid of this head cold. I'm on day 4, and I'm
Yeah.
sweating. You can see I'm sweating. So my body's trying to push it out,
Right.
but my body's also trying to heal. So
Right.
it's kind of like fighting it's fighting each other trying to.
Yeah, that's why
heal.
we want to try to make this video, because a lot of people have the same problem. Not them, or maybe their family members, but they
Sure.
didn't do the surgery yet because it's just super expensive. So they want to know what your symptoms is.
Well, eventually, if you do have a
Symptoms,
defect
what are-
and you don't get it taken care of,
yeah.
you will most likely have a stroke or a heart attack.
Right. Some people they had a stroke and
Yep.
then they found out that they have
That's
a problem.
normally how they find out they have a hole.
Yes. Good thing yours is, it didn't
We caught it early.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we caught it early. We got
Mm-hmm.
lucky. Well, we didn't get lucky. God was with us, so
Yes.
You know.
And thank you guys for your prayers.
thank you. Yep,
The surgery was successful.
I went
and
home the same night
Very
too.
smooth. Yeah.
So
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you got some question, you can put that in the comment section.
we'll try to answer them.
Yeah. Bye.